Good day, everybody. Peace, love, and harmony to you all. I am Peacekeeper, and I'm here on this beautiful Saturday, yet to deliver yet another powerful, inspirational message to you guys today. But before I dive into today's message, let's raise the frequency. Feels so good to be alive, baby. Feels so good to be here right now. Right now. Yeah, 1 second. Don't disturb on for this one. Alright, now today's message is about life changing blessings are coming your way, chosen one. Holy faith. Hold the faith. This message was inspired today by, coming across a lot of open-minded individuals, people who are diving deep and, the direction of the mentality. There's a major shift taking place. So it's very beautiful to get to meet kindled spirits aligned with authentic souls who are focused in a direction of making change, doing the inner work. And that, my friends, is why I'm saying life changing blessings are coming your way. Because the more you change internally, the more you put in that effort and energy to do that inner work, it will all pay off in the long run. So I'm just here to give that motivation and inspiration to those of you starting this journey, to those of you who have been on this journey also for quite a while. Just here to give you that, little bit of inspiration to let you know that remember that you're not doing it in vain. you know, it is benefiting you. It is definitely enhancing you and evolving you. Even though you're not seeing it, it's working, it's paying off. So know that it's happening and change is taking place. So, for starters, I want to add into this message right here. Welcome, welcome. Right now, a conversation that I was having with one of these like minds today, and this was earlier on in the day when I went for my little early AM swim, just having a little mesh. And the conversation was basically about, a three-way love circle, a love triangle. Meaning, this doesn't necessarily mean it's sexual, by the way, it's just love. Someone loves, they had a little disagreement where and the other person not talking anymore, and they basically don't want to be interacting anymore with each other. So, the question was, should he feel a type of way and basically stop talking to a certain friend because of that scenario or situation? Well, this is a very deep, delicate topic, very deep and intricate. There's a lot of things and a lot of angles to look at in this topic, but I like to simplify things. So, for starters, why should someone have to choose between two people that they love? Two friends that they love because of their differences, because of them disagreeing. Meaning that they don't want to talk to the next individual, they don't want nothing to do with them, and they expect you now to basically do the same. Choose. It's either them or it's me. And that, my friends, is not a choice that an individual should have to make, personally speaking here. Because the truth is, love is universal. If you have an issue with my friend on that end and my friend on this end have issue with my friend on that side, I'm being blatantly honest. That's for you guys to deal with. I'm just the middleman here. Don't bring me into it emotionally on that level to have to choose between the both of you. Because the truth is, the love is to be shared with both of you. And if you all can't understand that my love is mutual, it's not a matter of being, yet again, choosing sides. It's a matter of just moving to understanding. This being said, the pros and cons of this is two things here. What the individual was saying to me was, well, they don't want to keep that energy around because of the way that they feel. They don't want to deal with them in that way, in that manner. They don't want to see them. They don't want to be around them at all, stuff like that, right? Which is okay. They don't have to be around. But don't force another individual to choose, to have to choose who they want to be with and who they want to spend time with when they love their love is universal. Like, shouldn't have to force them to make that choice. That's a tough choice. you know? Especially when it's a relationship that they have built and have had for quite a while. It's very deep. It's a tough decision to make. It's not an easy decision to make. And that being said, the way I see it is that the individual who's having the issue, it's more of a their problem, an emotional issue, a problem that they have within themselves that they need to let go of and stop holding on to that grudge or holding on to that heat. Example, some may say, well, in order for them to heal, they need to distance themselves, which is true. Distance helps you to cultivate healing. So that being said, they can distance themselves. But if I am the person who is interacting with that individual at that point of time when they show up and see me interacting with that mutual friend, you shouldn't have a problem. If you can't hang around, then it's okay. Feel free to leave. No love lost. But if you could still hang around and mesh, we can hang around and mesh. Let bygones be bygones and at least bring peace forth in the circle. And if peace cannot be cultivated within that circle, and the individual who's having the issue and holding that grudge is functioning in a certain order, out of order, then they need to separate themselves until they deal with themselves, and that's their choice. That's their choice. It's not on them to make others within the circle dislike another because they don't like that individual or they had a negative interaction with that individual. No, it's not okay for them to push that, you know? So, that being said, this story has been used here and now because this is how beautiful it is when changes are taking place. It may come in situations, in scenarios that are not the best of scenarios, like example that, where you may have a lot of tough decisions to make, where it may be very toxic at times and you kind of don't know what to do. And then, you end up being a little stressed out, a little bit shaky. This is when most of the times a big massive change is coming into your life. So hence, in terms of when changes are taking place, in terms of when new is coming in, most of the times things around you kind of start to wither away. Like example, certain friends not corresponding and meshing well together as they once used to. They're not meshing well with you as they once used to. They're not on that wavelength anymore, which is okay. This is an indication that changes are coming your way. Another sign that changes are coming your way too, in terms of, let's say, the job that you're in, you're no longer comfortable in it. You want to know why, like, you just can't see yourself here any longer. You find it's too stressful for you, it's like, all right, I can't do this anymore. Maybe I should try to find another alternative. This, my friend, is a sign that changes are coming your way. You begin to become very uncomfortable, which actually pushes you and inspires you to doing different things and actually becoming a little bit more creative. This is a perfect indication of changes are coming your way. And in these experiences and these times, most of the times, it comes one after the next, and sometimes that can be a little bit overwhelming. But this is why, this is where correction, that you need to take the time just to, pause to pause and allow the changes to flow in. Allow things to work itself out. This is where the faith comes into play. So the story that I used when I said the individual need to basically deal with it on their own internally, and when I say on their own, they need to gain that clarity within themselves to understand that they need to take accountability and let go, so that yet again they can actually heal, aside from holding on to that individual who's in the circle in a negative way. And that's their choice. So in this now, it gives room for growth. It gives room for a deeper connection to build in the circle if there is proper communication and proper ventilation taking place. So for example, when I say deal with themselves, take time to sit and check themselves and ask themselves deep, tough, hard questions like, why am I still holding this grudge? What was it? Was there something that hasn't been said that still needs to be said? All right. If there's something that still needs to be said, then talk to the individual and see if you all can work it out. But if you all can't work it out, that's okay. But yet again, don't force the other onto your choice. No. Allow the change to flow naturally. Allow the shift to take place naturally. That's where the faith comes into play. Vice versa with our life. In terms of along my earlier journey, when I encountered some massive changes in my life where basically everything fell apart. Rock bottom, didn't know what to do, didn't know where to turn, didn't know where to go. But I still held the faith that I was, basically headed in the right direction. I still had held that faith. I still said to myself, well, everything that's happening here is happening for a reason. Like, it was happening for a reason. I didn't know the reason. I didn't know what may have happened or where it may have led me to. But it led me to where I am now, and I am grateful for it. Because when I first went through those first massive changes in my life, I lost some people that was dear to me. family, friends, job, girlfriend, like a lot of things crumbled at the same time. And that shit was very taxing on my mind. But in that tough situation, in that time, I realized that everything that was happening was for my betterment, for me to actually be placed in the environment which I'm supposed to be in. you know? And the way it unfolded, the way it happened, at first one could have been like, damn, that may look scary. But after coming out of it, looking back at it to where I am now, it all worked itself out through having faith, through having trust. Like, I got to this beautiful environment in Diego Martin here, and the complete shift in lifestyle from where I used to live in my comfort zone, in around my family and my familiar neighborhood, stuff like that. It was good there, but it wasn't for me. The shift that it took to get me to where I am here now in Diego Martin, in this area, it's something that I don't ever regret. As much as the shift itself was very difficult to endure, it was very stressful. Where I am now, I give thanks to it. So you see, even though sometimes things are falling apart, they are actually working in your best interest. But you may not see that in the moment. Over time, though, having faith and trusting that process, trusting the timing, knowing that, okay, the universe is making a way for you, knowing that everything is falling into place for you. That being said, that's where certain things that are not aligned for your truest purpose and your greatest good, withers away. You see, because the universe, God's source, the creator, is separating chaff, the chaff from the weed. From the wheat. I don't know if I break that down properly, but let's use another example. God's source, the creator, the universe, is separating the sheep from the wolves from the sheep, siphoning out the black sheep among the pack of white sheep, which is basically followers and massive crowds and stuff like that. So that was what was going on with me on that journey. I was basically being separated from the white sheeps, and being placed in that position where I could have blossomed and be who I came here to be, not have to follow. So I got a whole energetic shift, environmental shift, everything in one. I got a whole shift in one. And that shift is what helped me to reach where I am now and transform my life to where I am now. Now my life isn't perfect. It's still not perfect. It's still transforming, it's still evolving. I'm not the best, but where I am, I'm definitely grateful for it. Because these are the perks that I have now. I have freedom now. Time for me. Time to do what I want, when I want, how I want to. Even though I don't have the world of money, I have that freedom. And that's a change that I never had before. And the universe is always telling me, hey, keep going, keep going, keep going. Never give up your freedom. You know? So, for example, now my lifestyle, like I have a whole river not too far away from me, which I love and I appreciate. Like I really love that river. I can go by that river every day. Some days though the water is a little too cold. So I actually have to will myself a little bit more to go. But when I do go though, even after willing myself to go, it's always heartwarming and you know, definitely something that is refreshing for my soul, renewing my soul. Could not have gotten that in the environment that I was in once before. So that's one of the most major breakthroughs in my life already that I'm grateful for. You know, having that oasis basically 10 minutes away from me. That's richness, man. You know, that is something to be grateful for. Aside from that, I have an abundance of, yet again, nature around me now too. Whereas in the environment that I was, it wasn't like that. It was more just city. It was more just concrete jungle. It was more kind of that cage, you know, basically the city prison. Now out here, there are a lot of places to explore in nature. There are a lot of places to be. Someone called me a sage the other day. I was like, what's a sage? A wandering sage. I was like, what does that mean? And he was like, well, I said, no. I said, what does a wandering sage do? He said, exactly what you do. I was like, all right, what's that? Explore. And I was like, damn. You know, that's a nice compliment. I'm a sage, right? You know, because I like exploring nature. I would not have been able to do that and get that if I was still in the same position, the same place that I was before. I would not have been able to do that. Hi, tap that like button, share this, someone else needs to hear this. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Peacekeeper. Sharing a story right now about how I ended up here on this journey, where I am, some of the challenges, some of the stuff that led me to where I am now and why I'm grateful for it. So yeah, as I was saying, being called a sage, an explorer, and I'm like, it's nice. I'm great. I'm glad that that's the vibe that I'm given. You know, it shows that the work that I'm doing is actually a lot of progress. Yeah, and that is something that I'm thankful for also. The fact that even other people are seeing the progress. So I am saying this to you. As you are changing, as you are evolving, there will be others around you that will see the changes. There are others that will see the beauty that you are changing into. There are others that will admire that. And there are also some that will cling to the old version of you. So I'm saying this to you. Embrace your changes and continue moving forward and keep having faith in where you're going. And don't allow them to pull you back down. That's not easy to do, by the way. It's easier said than done, but this is where your focus and consistency and discipline, resiliency comes into place. So I say to you, just keep going. Keep holding the faith because the work that you are doing, the mission that you are on, the journey that you are on, it is something that not everyone takes up. It is something that few souls really have the strength to do this. So the mere fact that you are doing it, hey, you, my friend, are a very beautiful soul. Know that. Whoever you are receiving this message. And everything that you desire, everything that you want is already there and it's definitely on its way to you. So I say to you, just keep moving, just keep going, just keep going. Slow and steady wins the race. Yeah. Hold the faith, yeah. Even though also, like now, a lot of big changes are happening in society. Trump and his inflation. It's a sign of change. It's a sign of a positive change for society. Example, as every single country is on that list. If he goes through and follow through with that, there is a possible recession that can take place. So some may look at a recession as a negative thing, and some can see the benefits and positives that come with a recession. So for example, some of the negatives are food prices will raise. Some of the negatives are, yet again, things won't be as easily accessible. Some of the negatives are also some countries may pull out and not want to trade with the US. Don't know how will that happen, how will that go. But some of the positives are this. People will begin to realize that the government systems are not there to actually help. These are the possible changes, the possible, awareness on the horizon also, which is also implementing change in the collective. And as the collective changes also, it's beneficial for your life, because as other like minds wake up and realize the trap that they are in, this is where we now gain the power also to make the changes. So that's a big card played there by Trump. And this will also put people in that state of mind to even lack more trust. They already don't really trust the government, but more trust in the government. Like a lot more people will be pulling away from it. So that being said, these are signs of powerful changes coming. Even self it may not look so, with Trump dropping those riffs. No. That's an indication to show that society wake up. That's what that indication is there for. That's what the signs are showing us right now. Now is the time to wake up and time to make some changes. Time to change who has that say in leadership. And it shouldn't be an individual, but collectively as a society, yeah, that's where the last say should come from. Not the one party, not the one man, not the one organization. A lot of people will be realizing that, and that is a plus. That is a beautiful thing. So for people to realize that, though, a lot of people may go through a very tough time in that recession if it happens to play out. And that kind of will push people to really and truly realizing that they can't put all their trust and faith in man. No, they need to put their trust and faith within the universe, within the divine. They need to put their trust and faith within themselves. A lot of people are going to realize that hard way. And it may be very difficult at first for them to really and truly swallow that pill, but it is a pill that needs to be swallowed. And when it is digested, know that the next step is to embrace the changes that are coming. Beautiful changes are coming, guys. This will push a lot of individuals to be more self-efficient, self-sustained, self-empowered, self-employed. This will actually inspire a lot more entrepreneurs. This will actually inspire a lot more creativity. Hi, welcome. 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 Yeah. This will inspire a lot more creativity in our nation. So, as tough and as sad as it may look right now, there are benefits that happens in terms of when prices raise and stuff like that. Negatives and the positives can influence us now to work together more. Example, the future that I see in terms of becoming more self-sufficient as society is developing, as a lot of people are doing the inner work, as a lot of people are changing, I see a lot more agriculture, a lot more people pushing their business in terms of again what it is that they aspire to do, to be of service in any way, form, or fashion. I'm seeing a major shift in the future in terms of the mentality and the mindset of society. But right now, currently, when you look around, you may find like the numbers are few, but the truth is there's a lot of people waking up. They're just like this, just quiet for now because they still have that fear of self-expression, freely speaking, and that's okay because eventually, throughout the rest of this year and the years to come, I'm already seeing it. As I was saying from the start of this message, stranger, I met some people today, couple. Well, I already knew them, but they actually come out a little bit today, and it surprised me when I was like, huh. It surprised me when they came out and said certain things, and I was like, huh, what are they thinking then? Well, they're just playing mouse all the time. you know? And it just shows that, a lot more people are working now. A lot more people are basically diving deep, and that's a great sign to see. That's a sign that is indicating to me, hey, the change is already here, by the way, but it's just unfolding slowly and gradually. Like the layers of it universally is just coming off, bit by bit by bit, piece by piece by piece, and that's amazing. That's amazing. Patience right now though, for when the major global, you know communities and unities and things that are flowing that way take place. There are little minor things already happening and taking place. There are people that have already developed communities off the grid. I know some people who are doing a lot of work like that. That's some good sights to see too. So it's just a matter of, holding the frequency and staying steady, which is what I'm here to share with you guys right now too. In terms of, I went through a little bit of turmoil yesterday and day before. Still shared my messages though. And in that turmoil, what was the issue? What was the problem that I was having? Well, the problem was a financial issue because I was like, you know, overthinking stepped in there at that point. But I said to myself, all right, maybe I should go back into the system, you know. Go back there, out there, and work in the system and chop the dream and chop these things. But then interacting with them today just gave me further confirmation. Hey, no, don't fall back when we're moving forward. No, no. And this is also what influenced the message too. Because in seeing these things and interacting with people that I once thought was, yet again, shallow, they're now finally coming out. They're coming out. And that is a perfect indication to know, hey, keep pushing, man, keep pushing, because my yoga business, been pushing it for a while. It's just been like, you know, and I say probably I'm not managing it to the best of my capacity. So that's on me there too. Accountability for that. But you know, it is hard. It is tough. It is rough. But this is where as I was having the self-doubts, as I was having the thoughts of, hey, see, just go for the easy, the quick fix. Stick it out. Stick it up, man. Stick it up. Hold the faith. Keep holding the faith. That's what I'm choosing to do. And that's where I'm staying on. So I'm just sharing these experiences also to show you guys that, hey, I'm dealing with shit too. I am. I'm not perfect, not a saint, not no guru, but I'm staying focused, man. I'm staying dead on, not falling back into the old systematic ways of doing things. You know, I'm allowing this business to work its magic and I'm holding the faith in it, allowing the universe to align certain things. That's why I also use the story of how I even got into the position, into the place that I am here now too. How I got here was miraculous. It wasn't something that I thought was possible. This wasn't a place that I thought I would be in. It's a game. But look at where I am from being faithful back then. Now I'm getting tested again to, be faith, continue being faithful again, because the faith is something that should always be there to help us to continuously, be flowing too. Keep holding that faith. Keep being in that. Sure, sure. Yeah. Keep holding the faith too. So in these tests, this is where the the beauty of resiliency comes into play also, to show me also, okay, what are you going to do? And this is where I'm also sharing here. The test is just to show how bad you want it, basically. How bad you want to be in that field. As much as the doubts kick in, as much as the overthinking kicks in. Like, holy faith, man, holy faith. I swear, I live a life of tests. Go through it. Yeah. Vice versa. At some tests, at times it's like, how much more tests, right? Sometimes it happens. It does. And I definitely agree with the mentality of also, like being tested every day. Like we get tested. This also is a form of a test too. Because really and truly we get tested when we least expect it. When you're not expecting to be tested, it's like when you get tested. So that's the thing with awareness also. When we are getting tested, it's to just sharpen our awareness, sharpen our resiliency. But this being said, being in it is where the truth of how bad you really want it comes into play. Being in that state and still saying, well, you know what? Still going with it. Still playing with it. Yeah. And that is a lot of strength. That's a lot of inner motivation. That's a lot of passion that one needs to have for that, what it is that they are aspiring to do. And I'm being told to let it flow into you, and when needed, use it. Definitely, definitely. Flow is definitely the key factor. But example, this is a very powerful example here, which a lot of people endure, which is when it is that even self they are letting it flow, even self they are in that flow state. There are times where, in being a constant flow state, in being on top of things, and being dead on focus, and being steady, there comes times where an individual also kind of needs to take a break, because sometimes when you're in that flow of just going, even though you're doing something that you love to do, mentally, it's like, how to put this way? They think they're not doing enough. So they're flowing and they're working, they've been doing it for a while, but they think that they have to do more and 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 do more, and not take any time to take a break. If you get what it is that I mean. It's like they're trying to be so perfect because they're disciplined, they're structured, they want what it is they want, and they're pushing for it, and they're going, they're flowing with it. But if certain little like blocks come, or certain little, you know, um added on pressure come, they push you that one, push you that one, push you that one. It's like the stress is evolving them, is changing them, by the way, but it actually puts you in like switch on, and it's like you can't come off. It's like you're on and you're like you can't come off. Like once you're on, you're on. You know, and it's like you could switch them off. No, you can't switch them off. Right? So it could lead to a lot of like, on the individual, it actually can have issues within them internally, because now they're just in the mental aspects, the focusedness of life, and pushing through, pushing through, pushing through, but neglecting that they need to rest their minds at the same time. If you understand what I mean there. So in terms of the resting is also needed. Taking a break is also needed, because sometimes you're pushing through and you're flowing and you're going with the flow. You're flowing in the work, and you're doing what it is you're doing, what you need to do. And what it is that you get from trying to finish it or complete it and do more and do more and do more, then and there, if you don't take the time to actually relax and allow, yet again, the real flow, pardon, recharge for 5 months. And that's why I'm in Texas. Everybody said enough was gonna correct. 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 So it's like the balance. Even when you love doing something that you love to do, pushing through is a big part to play in getting it done and not procrastinating. I do a lot of procrastinating, by the way, but I also do a lot of small things that lead me. I do believe that I should be doing more though than I am doing. So I would say, like, in terms of my work ethics towards my passion itself, I would say on a scale of 1 to 100, I'm actually like 40% in doing the passion for the money aspect, and then 60% more in the spiritual work. Like, I think I should be doing a little bit more physical work, but it's like my focus is more internal and on the spiritual work. It's more on making sure that I'm at peace. So I tend not to add too much stress on my mind when it comes to those things. But in terms of that being said, I add stress on my mind in other ways. So this is like, I'm sharing a little bit about me here now too, right? This is like, for instance, I do a lot of like physical work in terms of exercising. And I love to exercise because I love the trail. I love the way that it builds my body. I love that. But that is a lot of focus. That is a lot of energy. And in terms of doing that, when I am jogging 10Ks or 20Ks, it's a lot of focus yet again, a lot of energy. In my mind, I signed that contract. I can't stop doing squats. Yeah. So in my mind, right, I set the finish line, the destination, like I'm running that lap and I'm going up that hill and I'm coming back and I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. So I have that focusness, I have that push, I have that drive, right? And I complete that. Like the contract is already signed. But on the other hand, in terms of where when I am dealing with other things, it's like, for example, reading. I do push ups every commercial. Wow. Every break you do a push up, right? I feel that vibe. I do it a lot right now too. And this is where I'm kind of breaking down some of the things that I'm dealing with and that I had was to really and truly clear up and also understand, hey, take a breather, take a breather, right? So when I looked at the focusness of the jogging and the focusness of yet again taking care of my health, disciplining myself, and do you have a course in course cross in your room? If not, kindly get one and put it on your table. Let me the sign of the cross here. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, Holy Spirit. Jesus loves you, right? Well, tell Jesus I said that he loves you. Peace, love, and harmony to you. The cross right now is right here. In the name of the Father, His Son, and Holy Spirit. Love Jesus and love yourself too. I love Jesus too, man. We love Jesus over here. We love Jesus. Peace be with you, man. So, as I was saying, my friend, when it is that I'm working and doing these physical activities, it's like, okay, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of mental strain, it's a lot of mental training, right? Naturally. But when it is now coming to other things and doing other things, after doing that training by itself, doing the self work in that way, you still have to now come out and yet again, you have other passions. Some of my other passions may be singing, reading, yet again, focusing on developing and enhancing those abilities, training in that way. It's another form of mental strain. It's another form of working on your mind. It's another form of self development. So, that consistency, that discipline, sometimes we can be too disciplined. We're just doing one task to the next task, to the next task, to the next task, to the next task. So even though you're doing something already, you're getting things done, like the jogging was also a big part. You're not satisfied with the achievement of that. So you need to go to a next achievement, you need to get another satisfaction. Capricorn. December 27th. So you need to get another achievement and another one, another one, another one. And so it keeps going on. And yet again, your mind needs time to rest from these tasks. Like it does. It really does. And in being in that state, allowing yourself to rest and digest, this is where understand that holy faith, the rest is needed, the rest is a necessity. Like holy faith, like keep holding the faith. It's working, it's moving, it's changing. Even self, you think you're not moving because you're just putting out because you're taking a break. It's moving. It's moving. You don't have to always be moving to be moving. You catch your psychology behind it. It's something that I've realized in that little slope, in that little doubt, and that little overthinking mind that, wait a minute, doing nothing, and I said it also a time, like, I think it was a couple of days ago, no, about last week, doing nothing Sometimes it's doing something. You're doing something. Taking a break is essential. It's necessary. You don't have to be perfect and disciplined every single minute, every single hour. You don't. You don't. Like, for example, look at some of the other achievements also. I'm just sharing a little bit more about me again too here. In terms of eating healthy. I didn't know I was used to eat healthy. I didn't know I was used to not eat meat. That's my personal preference now. That's my natural state now. Now I can naturally just stay away from it now. But before I couldn't do that. Before I used to eat it a lot. That's okay. That's okay, by the way. That's where you are on in your journey. I don't judge. I accept where you are. I appreciate where you are. And I appreciate that transparency too. Because, by the way, I personally don't judge anybody for what it is they eat. But I'm just sharing it here, like me, I am proud of that accomplishment of changing that diet in that way. Right now, though, I don't eat the meat, I don't eat certain things, but I actually moved back a little bit into eating some stuff that I cut out for quite a while, which was flour. I cut off flour for a whole year and change because of the effects that flour has on you. I eat like a toddler. Okay. Well, ignorance is bliss, until something happens. So let's always keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, my friend, because you know and do better. Just pushing you there. Do better a little bit. Balance it off a little bit. So I'll share some tips with you right now on what has helped me there in terms of that. And yet again, not perfection. Not perfection, but just a matter of gradual changes. Because even self, like example, in the breakdowns that I was sharing with you earlier on, the gradual changes that I'm making now, I know that they are big changes, but because the mindset of the discipline, you think you need to do more and you need to do a lot more, you now think that you're not doing anything. But the gradual changes are big changes. So, like, for instance, reward yourself when you accomplish a day without doing something that you know is harming you. And for one day, you actually say, well, all right, hey, I did it today and I didn't do it. I didn't harm myself in that way. Then that's like, reward yourself for that. Reward yourself. Give yourself praise for it. Like, give yourself more self praise for the small winnings. The little bit you do. And I'm also going to be taking this advice here too, because I feel like I feel like it's for me too while sharing this with you. you know, give myself a bit more praise for it. The small things that I am accomplishing and that I am doing. So I'm saying to give yourself that praise for these small little things that you can do and change, implement to help put the diet that are more beneficial to you. Like, give yourself the praise. Eventually, from looking back to how I went through that cycle, went through that transformation of changing my diet. Now I can fast for like 18 hours without eating anything, eat once a day sometimes, you know. Sometimes I can just go off of water for the whole day now. It's like crazy. But that being said, it took a lot to get here. It took a lot of small changes. It took a lot of, yet again, stress, but taking breaks, taking breathers in between. And yet again, all those were transformations that I went through that wasn't the best. That was real tough, but the results, more physical strength, more energy, more like more blissful also. That deep fast and deepens the connection. I'm not telling you that you need to fast, but it is something that is beneficial. So you can dive into that if you choose to. That's on you. But I'm just sharing with you the benefits that it has had and on me and how it has impacted me. So for example, now it has enhanced my awareness to foods now too. So it's like I was saying, like I start by eating flour. So this was one of the things that I cut off for real long through breaking the habits and stuff like that and breaking the programs. But now I kind of fall back into it a little bit and I eating some now because this is my treat for all of the work that I've done. I'm not going to allow myself to just completely fall flat away into eating that all the time, because I know the harmful effects that white flour has on you, for your joints, also internally on your gut. Yeah, it has a lot of negative influences because it's bleached and it doesn't have any natural nutrients in it. That's the problem with eating white flour. But I've started back eating it. Yeah. So that's what I'm here for too, raising awareness. So I've started back eating it, and I've realized that, hey, it's okay to treat yourself at times too, be proud for the accomplishments that you have made. Don't just fall flat back into the hole. Allow yourself to take a break from the perfectionism. Yet again, it's in my horoscope too. It's in my horoscope as a Capricorn to be disciplined and a perfectionist. It's in it. So this is where I allow myself to fall back into that a little bit, but it's not something that I'm going to hook on to and hold on to. And this is how I actually broke free from the patterns of it in the first place. I did not attach myself to the foods and say, well, all right, I have to eat this or else I wouldn't feel good. I have to eat this meat. I have to eat that snack. I don't have to. No, I started to realize I don't have to. I realize it's just an urge that I'm accustomed to doing. And as I'm accustomed to doing that, all right, maybe I could take some time now to, not be accustomed to doing it. So I was to recreate a habit and retrain myself and allow myself to, be patient and kinder to myself, to allow that change to flow in. I was to be very patient and very kind to myself. So I didn't judge myself in a negative way, like if I fell short a day. No, because back then it was like, okay, mistakes, or it's part of the journey. The journey is the way. I didn't fall into it to say, well, all right, I just give up. No, no. this was the distance. This is the way that this is how far I've gotten. But now I get the ability to go again. And who knows, you may go longer that time. So for example, when I was first breaking free from, yet again, eating stuff that are not healthy for me, and actually moving more into a healthier, natural based way of living, I took a lot of breaks. Like, there are times I went for 2 weeks straight and then I went unhealthy again. There are times I went for 3 months straight and then I went unhealthy again. There are times I went for months straight and then I went unhealthy again. But on the little times where I allow myself to, drop the perfectionism and do it again, I kept going, kept going, and I kept flowing. And this has helped me to cultivate a lot more balance in it and understand that, hey, it's good. It is what it is. Learning something new every day. Definitely. 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 It's like I said, the smallest of things, the simplest of things, like create the biggest of changes in our life. The simplest of things. So I'm just understanding, even moving further in life too, to keep those good traits of myself. Where in terms of when it is that something is not, like you think you're not doing enough, know that the small things is big changes, because look at where it got me now. Look at, yet again, the discipline that I've accumulated now and acquired through that process. So even though we make that little backpedal a little bit, it's just a driving force. It's just more motivation to say, well, hey, how strong are you to get back up and go in the ring again and box again? How strong are you? And then as it flows again to the point where, all right, we need to take our next break. Hey, it's just a break. I'm learning this and I'm sharing this with you guys right now. And I'm keyword learning. to keep on understanding this very important thing. Take as much breaks as you want. Take as much breaks as you need. Be patient with yourself. Like, be patient. Slow and steady wins the race. And the reason why I'm saying learning is because in society out there, in life, there's a lot of added pressures. There are a lot of timers on our life from other people. Like a lot of people set timers on our life. So this is also what gives us that mentality of we're not doing enough, we need to do more, we need to do this, we need to do that. And actually putting ourselves in a position to be in a kind of race that you need to get there now too. It's a lot of societal projections and you know those type of influences. And that, my friend, is why a lot of us, not pulling myself out of it too, tend to think that we're not doing enough. So this is where I'm also realizing that the power and the shift there is too much on what they think. It's too much on what they think. And that's where we within ourselves as individuals need to discipline ourselves and be like, hey, don't give a shit. Easier said than done because oftentimes we want to be nice, oftentimes we want to sacrifice our own peace and our own, you know, inner bliss and love to please and soothe their egos. And it's like, why please them? It's not benefiting you. No, it's not. It's just adding stress. So that's where we as individuals need to understand that, hey, do the best that we can do. Once we know we are doing our best, give yourself the praise, give yourself the thanks, give yourself, be kind to yourself and keep doing your best, regardless of what they think your best is. You know what your best is. That's what I have to say to you. That's what I have to share with you guys because this is what I'm realizing more and more. Hey, your power, the way you feel about you, it's always the most important thing. Like, it should always be here, nowhere else. Sometimes that slips. Yet again, we're not perfect. Sometimes it slips. But it slip, you realize hey, you're giving too much power. Throw back in your power, man. Conserve your energy again and go again and hey, talk to the hand. Face not listening. So a lot of these things are the psychological issues that and I'm saying an issue because it's something that is a work in progress that we are working on ongoingly, continuously, motivating ourselves and also motivating each other. This is also why I'm here for you guys. This is why I'm here. This life is not about me, although I'm talking a lot about me a little bit. This is actually for you guys. This is why I'm here to help in any way that I can. I'm using my experiences, though, by the way, as a tool to help. So I'm hoping that it's helping right now, and it is actually inspiring. you know, yeah. So all of this being said, the power of faith and trust this journey, trust this mission. Yet again, I'm saying this is not only for you. I'm feeling this energy, for me too. So I say to you guys right here, right now, take as much breaks as you need to take. You're not in a race. Remember the key important factors in this message today. The little things, the little bit, the little bit. The little bit is what counts the most. Yeah, you don't have to do the world. Just keep doing the world and doing the world and being fast paced, fast paced, fast paced, fast paced, fast paced. That's the whole slave man programming. Hey, with that being said, one of the conversation I had today was about that how slavery, some of the slavery systems actually came into play, specifically the school system, and that was crazy information for me. Still need more, still need to digest that and actually dive a little deeper into it. But I'll just share based on what it is that I can remember right now on it. In terms of the main reason they created school systems wasn't actually to enhance our knowledge and actually help us grow. No. It was actually a training program that was created for us to be better workers. So the whole entire school system that they have right now in today's society has trained us to be workaholics so that we can just keep giving that energy and giving away ourselves to accumulate and to achieve, you know, based on their, yet again, their validation of our worth. That's what the school system was created to do. And I was like, shit, that makes a lot of sense why a lot of us are workaholics. In terms of when we're working, like we're working until switch on, like you can't switch off because we've been trained, we've been in a training program through the school system to be that way. So it's like it's a lot to take in, but understanding those roots also can show you to always remember if feeling like you're not doing enough, it's not that you're not doing enough. You need that rest, you need that break, you need that time to just be, you need that time to just live, you need that time to just do, just be free, just be free, just be free, relax. As you say, recharge, recharge. Yeah, take time to breathe rather than always going. Know that it stemmed from a program. So look at it that way and understand not to judge yourself hard and be too hard on yourself for finally taking time to take a break for yourself and enjoy. You know, take the time. Take all the time you need. Because quite frankly, a lot of us has been basically just workers. Like it's like, have you been in this situation? Well, I'm not asking, but I know you have. So this situation of you've been in that job and that job is just wake up, go to work, come home, no time to do anything else. You blink, open your eye, shit, gotta go to work again. Like what? And that has been your life growing up, going through the time period of your life. Like definitely deserve some time to relax. You deserve that. Don't ever think you don't deserve that. You do. So I say to you, don't feel guilty for your relaxation at times. No. Don't feel guilty for your breaks or your little pauses. It's essential. It's very much healthy. In fact, it's actually the most healthiest thing that one can do for themselves. Taking that break. As beautiful as as no, not as as some may see it as a negative. It's actually beautiful. Like someone asked me in one of my lives that I did, and I broke it down for them in a very deep way on how to relieve trauma, like how to get rid of trauma in the body when you have trauma in the body. So I was actually talking about the meat and also stuff that actually happens when you have trauma in your body, and you know what are some of the things that could have caused it. So they asked, you know, how to get rid of it, and simple technique to get rid of trauma. Anything that you got trauma connected to in any way, form, or fashion. You wanna know the key secret? Rest, 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 rest. Definitely, you need rest. Like, you need rest. You need time to be alone. You need time to rejuvenate. You need time to heal. You need time to just be with you and be in your little zone. That's how you heal. That's how you heal. That being said, it's not to isolate. No, no, no. Just to rejuvenate. And then come out of that fresh, brand new, and create new. So in that rejuvenation process, in that healing process, you detach. In that detached state, you know, move into that new to connect to new and create new and absorb new energies that can now push out the old energies, the old traumatic experiences and memories and stuff like that, creating the new. But it starts from the digesting it, the recharging, the resting before we could create the new. All from resting, the importance of resting. Yeah, that's something that creating balance of rest and flowing. This is what we have to keep working on and keep doing it, and holding the faith. Keep going. Sooner or later, we'll find that perfect balance. Like, perfect balance. Not a matter of, I'm saying perfection, but yet again, all of that is based on our perception. How are we feeling when doing what we are doing? That's how we know if we're healing or if we are just still holding on to certain trauma too. So, there, in terms of, let's say, we interact with others and we realize, hey, certain triggers or certain responses come up, know that might be a little bit of trauma there still. We go back and rest and digest, rejuvenate, heal again, and go again. So easy, endless work, endless journey, and resting is the key factor in keeping us going. So I hope this is helping you to understand that, hey, it's helping me too, saying this, verbalizing this. Never be afraid to take a rest. Never be afraid to take a break. No, 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 no. No, never be afraid to take a break. Never think of taking a break as something that is bad. It's not bad. Yeah. I'm out, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this message in some way, form, or fashion today. Hope this message help you guys today. And I want you guys to know that, hey, love you. And I'm grateful for those of you who sat through this entire message. Definitely grateful. So, tap that like button and share this. Someone else out there needs to hear this. I've said a lot today. I've definitely said a lot. And I hope this message reaches whoever it's meant to reach. Positive vibrations coming your way. Sending positive energy your way. Love, 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 love. Peace, love, and harmony to you all. I'm out. Until tomorrow. One love.